Yo, welcome to Trippy Commentaries and our WWE RAW reactions. Tonight's episode was pretty interesting. We saw the official contract signing for the match between Stephanie McMahon, a fourth generation McMahon, going against Brie Bella, the wife of Daniel Bryan. So we have a lot to recap. Let's get right into it. I'm RJ, joined as always by Retro Brett.
What it do?
Live from the University of Texas campus is C-Dub. What's going on, Corey?
Hook 'em horns. I'm live here in Austin. This was a pretty interesting episode building up to SummerSlam from the University of Texas. Let's go ahead and jump into it. We had a lot of pretty fast-paced action tonight.
Yeah, a lot of very interesting stuff went down, I would say. Unfortunately, they were drilling it down our throats about the whole $9.99 for the WWE Network. We all understand why they're doing it. It's necessary. It'll probably work. But it was kind of annoying for us who already have the network.
It was kind of funny, though.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those jokes where it's like annoying for a little bit and then it starts to get funny again. I don't know. To me, it was a little bit annoying, but WWE RAW did start off with the Authority tonight. In fact, the whole crew came out, including this man, Seth Rollins, Kane, and there was some pretty interesting announcements, C-Dub. What happened here?
Yeah, like you said, we saw Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Seth Rollins, Mr. Money in the Bank, Kane, and the Viper Randy Orton come out to kick off Raw. Triple H got on the mic and announced that, which this was announced earlier in the day, that Randy Orton will face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Tonight, however, he did announce that there would be a beat-the-clock challenge between Ambrose and Rollins. The victor would get to name their SummerSlam match stipulation. It would be Dean Ambrose taking on Alberto Del Rio and Seth Rollins taking on Rob Van Dam. Also, he went over the Stephanie McMahon Brie Bella contract signing tonight. Basically said that Stephanie will take Brie out if she gets out of line, no problem. Like you said, we started the $9.99 per month meme that went on throughout the night. It was sort of funny at first, but come on. I mean, can't you guys give us the spiel a little bit more organically? I will say, that aside, Triple H did a pretty good job of building up the SummerSlam card here as one of the biggest ones in years. He passed it off then to Randy Orton, who started his blah-blah spiel. He guarantees victory against Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes out through the crowd, cuts a promo, gets a great reaction. Says tonight it's not going to be $9.99 a month because he's going to kick Randy Orton's ass for free right now. Triple H then responds by saying, "No, Randy, no, you're not getting you're not going to get Roman Reigns until SummerSlam. Tonight it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Kane in a last man standing match." And that started right off the bat, guys. Roman Reigns and Kane, last man standing. Yeah,
that was a back and forth match. Pretty interesting. Of course, Reigns did eventually win.
Barely.
Even though, he was chokeslammed through a table here. He took a lot of punishment, but Roman Reigns, no surprise to us, came out the victor.
I feel that he was within one count, or Kane was within one count of getting to his feet. So that's why I say he barely won. But what a way to kick off Raw. Like everyone knows, I hate the standard boring match. I gotta have a stipulation match, and last man standing was an excellent way to kick off Raw.
Yeah, I agree. That was definitely an excellent match. You gotta like it when they start off with matches that could be a main event in another episode of WWE Raw. Definitely started off with a bang. Roman Reigns takes the victory here, Corey. You couldn't have been surprised.
No, it definitely wasn't. Roman Reigns, man, he's been getting some awesome reactions lately. I mean, they're really building him up almost to be the next guy. It feels like they're kind of doing that, the same thing they did with Daniel Bryan last year. Of course, Reigns, near the end of the match, was setting up for the Superman punch, got met with a choke slam from Kane through the table, barely makes the count of 9 to his feet to stay in it. Kane then attempts a tombstone on a steel chair that he pulls out of the corner. Reigns counters into a DDT on the chair. Kane gets up to meet a Superman punch from Roman Reigns. Calmly waiting in the corner for Kane to get up. Reigns nails the spear. Kane fails to answer the 10 count just by just a second. Just so close.
Yeah.
Your winner tonight, Roman Reigns, last man standing, much to the delight of the Texas crowd.
Yes, as well as myself, that's for sure. Hopefully Roman Reigns can take out Randy Orton at SummerSlam. I'm actually pretty excited for that match. We did have a little Brock Lesnar versus John Cena preview. It was pretty cool one. It definitely showed a lot of emotion out of both guys, especially Brock Lesnar, where he had some crazy quotes in there. And if I were John Cena, Corey, I would be scared as hell right about now.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, man. Brock Lesnar was just coming across as a complete animal here. It wasn't too surprising to see Cena sort of being humble, appealing to the fans, playing up the underdog role. He definitely did a great job of putting Lesnar over as the prime athlete and the unstoppable force that he is. Paul Heyman, also was in that segment. I mean, these guys are really building it up to where it has a real big fight feel. In the end, Brock Lesnar says he's going to leave John Cena in a pool of blood, urine, and vomit.
Ooh.
Wow. Retro Brett. What do you think about the pool of blood, urine, and vomit?
Not a pretty picture. I could have done without that from Brock Lesnar, but it's very nice to know that someone like that actually has emotions and can feel. I mean, we're pretty much all we pretty much know him as is a big brute that very well skilled. We hardly ever hear him talk. Mostly we hear Paul Heyman talk for him, but it's really nice to know that he is a human.
Yeah, he's a beast. I like how they've been calling him a mercenary. It's definitely the character they're giving him right now, to where he probably is the #1 guy. If we did a current top 10 rankings, our last rankings didn't include Brock Lesnar because he hadn't really officially shown back up yet. But I think as of right now, he would have to be #1 over John Cena. That's definitely how they're billing him. But as of right now, I still predict John Cena will come out on top. I know Corey definitely is looking at Brock Lesnar here. And Retro Brett, you're leaning a little bit towards Lesnar at this moment.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to wait for our predictions for that.
Yeah, wait for our SummerSlam preview, which is swiftly approaching. Damian Sandow appeared as an Oklahoma football player. This was just a straight up trying to get a reaction out of the crowd. It's as simple as it gets.
I thought that was going to be Boomer Sooner, what's his name, coming out. Jim Ross, yes. Thank you, Corey.
Jeez, JR.
I thought that was going to be JR, but
it
was good
great.
Old Damian Sandow.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, good call. But then again, I think Jim Ross will have to wait till they're actually in Oklahoma, not Sandow coming out as the Boomer Sooner there.
That was his music, though.
But, of course, the good thing to come out of this is we did have a Mark Henry appearance. Always good to see the world's strongest man, C-Dub.
Oh, yeah. Mark Henry's one of my favorites. He's definitely a veteran, a guy who, went from being signed by the WWE in '96 to being a legit main eventer at one point, taking on The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Tonight we saw him defeat Boomer Sooner Sandow pretty quickly with the world's strongest slam. And he then proceeded to ringside to give his fellow Texas alumni Vince Young the big Longhorn salute. It was definitely great to see Mark Henry here. I'm hoping that we get to see a little bit more of him coming up, and it's not just a deal where they happen to be in his home state.
You're not the only one there, Corey.
Yeah, he disposed of Damian Sandow very quickly. Definitely fan service there. Of course, Mark Henry went to the University of Texas himself, so they had to bring him out. We've been predicting that he might join up with the trio of Xavier Woods, as well as Kofi Kingston there and Big E. So perhaps this was a precursor. Maybe it was just a, like I said, fan service. I guess we'll find out possibly on the next episode of Raw.
So what do you mean there, RJ? You mean like if they have a stable of Xavier Woods and all those, it's going to be small, big, bigger, and biggest?
Yeah, that would be perfect, man. And as we've kind of alluded to earlier, Mark Henry would be the perfect manager type to give those guys the mentality to actually try a Shield-like uprising. I don't think they could do it, but there certainly looks like they're going to try.
Not many can be what the Shield was.
We had our very first beat the clock match here. Actually, before we get into that, it's a pretty cool matchup between Dean Ambrose, one of my favorite fighters, and Alberto Del Rio. I'll let you break down that match here, Corey, but before you get into that, I do have to ask you about the whole Adam Rose and Oculus mirror here situation. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, the main thing I have to say is that the best cure for an Adam Rose segment is Pepto-Bismol and Imodium. Both of those should stop the nausea, the vomiting, and the diarrhea.
Nice. What about the Ambrose versus Del Rio matchup? It took 15 and 42 seconds for Ambrose to land the Dirty Deeds finisher. Was that too much time, you think, Corey?
I felt like it could have been a little bit shorter. I mean, traditionally those beat the clock matches they usually come in around 10 minutes. They usually have more participants in them as well, so it was interesting to see them utilize that stipulation for this feud here tonight. As you said, Ambrose gets the victory in 15 minutes and change after the Dirty Deeds. Wasn't too impressed with Del Rio, but Ambrose always impresses me. I mean, this kid is definitely earmarked for success in the future. There's no doubt about it.
I do want to say, I know I might be alone on this one, but I would like to see something out of Alberto Del Rio. I remember I was kind of a fan of his a little bit when he first came out, and now he's just there. I know, like I said, I might be alone on this one, but I kind of would like to see Alberto Del Rio maybe get more of a character here. We'll see. I'm sure he's going to continue to be basically a high-level jobber at this point. But that was a pretty interesting match. What'd you think about it? Dean Ambrose is the man, Retro Brett.
Well, yes, I think that was a great match. I think Alberto Del Rio showed a little bit more than he has recently, but I thought, like everyone else, that Dean Ambrose was in serious trouble by only beating him in 15 minutes. I thought Seth Rollins was going to destroy that.
Yeah, 15 minutes, 42 seconds. Seth Rollins, one of the best fighters in the WWE. He's championship material. You think he's going to beat his opponent, even though it is RVD, who's a legend. You think he could beat him in 15 minutes and 42 seconds. We'll tell you all about it in part 2, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Now, we had Rusev and Lana come out to do their normal spiel. Apparently, Rusev defeated Sin Cara during the commercial break, C-Dub. I mean, did you catch that match?
I actually did, man. It was under a minute. I mean, Rusev just destroyed him. Hit the big sidekick, accolade, camel clutch finisher. Then, as you mentioned, as we came back to break, Lana was in the ring singing happy birthday to our President Barack Obama in Russian. That didn't last long. There was a sea of boos. Out comes Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter. Zeb Coulter, man, he had the Austin crowd going absolutely nuts tonight. Lots of USA chants. Always cool to see the patriotism running wild in the WWE universe. He went on to say at SummerSlam, Swagger will be fighting for all of the real Americans out there. He said that Lana and Rusev's egos will be crushed. That was just enough to provoke Rusev into attacking Swagger with the Russian flag. Of course, at SummerSlam, we're going to see these two behemoths face off in a flag match, USA versus Russia. Retro Brett, I know you're quite the patriot. Who's going to win this?
I'm still going to say Swagger. I thought he was going to win last time, but he's definitely going to win this time. But I want to see Mark Henry versus Rusev.
Yeah, you've said that a couple times, and I think maybe tonight, after we've seen Mark Henry, maybe it is a possibility, but I do disagree with you. I think Rusev is going to defeat Jack Swagger once again. I loved Lana singing happy birthday to President Obama. We definitely want to give a special shout out to our nation's president. I thought that was awesome. Man, I think Lana is sexy as hell, and man, that definitely reminded me, of course, of the Marilyn Monroe thing going on there. Lana could maybe pull it off.
Does the WWE employ any woman that isn't sexy?
I know you're a big fan of China.
Vicky Guerrero, okay.
Yes, and I know you have that picture of China on your wall, Brett, so she doesn't count. Let's go ahead and continue forth to the big-time matchup between a Trippy Commentaries favorite, Dolph Ziggler, and one of my personal favorites, Cesaro. I actually rocked the King of Swing Cesaro t-shirt to WWE Battleground.
Yes, he did.
Cesaro pulling that move off on a multitude of WWE superstars. Corey, what happened in this huge showdown?
Yeah, we saw the #1 contender to the Intercontinental Championship, currently held by The Miz, who was on commentary, Dolph Ziggler. He's going to take him on at SummerSlam. And tonight he took on, as you said, one of your favorites, Cesaro. To me, this was match of the night, guys. It was a lot of great back-and-forth action. These two guys are out there working super hard. They're both kind of on that brink of being almost main event, but not quite, along with quite a few other people in the WWE. In the end, tonight, we saw Dolph Ziggler get the win with a zigzag after he reversed a stalling vertical suplex from Cesaro, which was pretty impressive. He held him up there for quite a few minutes. Ziggler ducks behind, hits the zigzag for the win. That's, of course, a huge victory for Ziggler as the #1 contender going into SummerSlam. The Miz at ringside confronted Ziggler. He didn't want any of that. Ziggler looks pretty much primed to be possibly the new Intercontinental Champion here, RJ.
Yeah, I think so. But once again, they're probably going to be pushing The Miz. We all hate to see it, but I predict that The Miz is going to hold on to it through SummerSlam. There's not much more to say about it. It's just they're probably going to push him for a little bit longer. Dolph Ziggler might have a second coming, though, here. I mean, he's a former champion. What do you think, Brett?
I think it's about damn time they give Ziggler a title, or I would jump.
I mean, he's got a lot of fans here. It's not like he's someone who gets no acknowledgement from the fan base, from the WWE Universe. Most of the fans love Dolph Ziggler. We were there at Battleground. Ziggler got a,
He's way too good to not have a title or just be a high-level jobber.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it was really cool going to that Battleground event because all the fans are, you can talk to everybody around you, and it's just everybody's want to talk to each other. And one thing I noticed is everybody loves Dolph Ziggler. He's one of those guys that just everybody seems to love him. The last thing we will touch on in this episode is the return of Stardust and Goldust to the ring. They faced everybody's favorite jobber tag team duo here of Rybaxel, and we saw a new finisher by Cody Rhodes, aka Stardust. They win. Corey, is this about to be an uprising by the Odd Duo?
I know for a fact they're certainly on the hunt for that cosmic key. They won't shut the hell up about it. Goldust and Stardust, of course, getting the win tonight. Cody hit Axel with a swinging facebuster finisher, which is pretty cool. Time will tell what happens with the tag team division as far as going into SummerSlam. I can see these guys being inserted into possibly a multiple team match now with the Wyatts out of the Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho match, as we'll get into in part 2.
What do you think from this tag team group here? I mean, they've done some really wacky, weird stuff. Do you think they actually will be an elite tag team?
Yes, I do. I think the Dust Duo is an elite tag team that, I don't know, they're so, just like Bray Wyatt, they're so weird. People actually like them. Yeah. And that's all pretty much I have to say about that.
Yeah, also Bo Dallas also is kind of a quirky guy that people seem to like. Not you, Retro Brett.
Oh, I don't like him or Adam Rose, but Bo Dallas is not quite as weird quirky as the Dust Duo or his brother Bray Wyatt, but he's just insanely annoying.
He's inspirational, damn it.
Screw you.
Oh, man. Come on. It's like watching a NASA moon landing here, Retro Brett. When will you learn? Thank you guys for joining us for part 1 of our WWE Raw reactions. There's still a lot to get to. We saw what could be a big change here for Kane. There was something that happened that might give us a clue to his future. And we also saw, as we mentioned to start off Raw Reactions, a big-time contract signing in the Divas division. We'll catch you in part 2. Stay trippy until then.